Okay, it's Thursday now, and it's the 7th of July, 2022. In the background, that's Phil. Yeah, Phil Collins from the 1983 self-titled Genesis album. That's all. Fantastic tune. I think it comes right after Mama. Now, some people call it the Mama album. That's not true. It was the Genesis album. Now, there was a Mama tour back then, and I did go to it, in Dallas. That's right, at Reunion Arena back in the day. So I'm going to crank them up. Time 723. Hey, 723, that's my birthday. Yeah, July 23rd, it's coming up. Yep. So, fantastic. I asked M, my supervisor, for that Monday off, and that is the 25th. Yeah, the 25th of July. And she said yes. That was yesterday. Thank you, Tri-County Heartbeat. I really appreciate that. Now I got to head off to my final tour. The Last Domino? Was that what you said, Rob Ray? The Last Domino?
Phil Collins had a tour called Not Dead Yet.
And I'm happy of the fact that Phil's still alive.
Wow.
I am.
Okay, I didn't think
Phil's
he
a great
was,
guy. Phil had a farewell tour, final farewell tour, and the Not Dead Yet tour.
I believe is over.
And the Domino. Last Domino? For sure?
They had a good run.
Are you sure?
Starting out in the 70s.
Are you sure about that? Are you starting up, man?
Perennial hit makers. Yeah, they've had a nice run. News coming your way.
There you go. Rob Ray, I appreciate that. Now in mobile mode, Sir Elton John. From his official music video, the one with all the great sounds from Los Angeles. It's hot out there, isn't it? It's like 84 degrees out there or something. No, I think it is. I'm messing with the radio. I'm turning the dial. I think it's Sir Elton John in mobile mode.
the hard way. And on your right, it's Hollywood Foosball. It's Taco Tuesday.
Blue jean baby, LA lady, seamstress for the band.
7:34 a.m. is lady off to my left. She gave me the thumbs up. Yeah, 2 cars away because I had the windows open. And that was very, very loud. That was fantastic. Now I'm at the Gulf gas station. I'll be right back in a moment. You're listening to The Morning Show. Okay, back on the program. Here's an interesting story, but I don't know what it means. It's about Elon Musk. And I'm trying to get to that right here on my phone. Yeah, they send me, a lot of them, the New York Post, the daily streaming of their news things. Okay, first of all, Boris Johnson over there, the Prime Minister in the UK, he's agreed to step down. That's right. And then Elon Musk reportedly welcomed twins with top exec just before second child with Grimes was born. What a strange headline by the New York Post. What do you mean he welcomed twins? I don't know. The only thing I can figure out is they're trying to say he had 2 children with another woman before whoever Grimes is. I don't know this guy's personal life. So I'm opening it up to see if it'll open up. Oh, and it just shut down. Oh, well, that's okay. I don't typically read stories on, before work. I got about 20 minutes to my job. And so, yeah, maybe it's just best that I kind of steer away from that into something else, absolutely. How about Timothy B. Schmidt? It's Thursday. Of course, every Friday it is Timothy B. Schmidt and Friday Night, a great song from his solo career. This one's called Simple Man, from his album Day by Day.
I'm a simple man and I'm on my way to whatever lies ahead while aging day by day. And I don't know where I'll be next or if I'll be at all. I'm not privy to life's protocol. And I'm not seeking gold. I don't look for fame. That's all in my past now. It's another game. Though I no longer need the things I did before, I can't help but think there's so much more. Tell me what you're thinking. This I want to know. Maybe you could stay. I am so alone. Lay you down upon this bed. I feel heavy and the night is taking over. There's no moon up in the sky. We can't sleep until it's light. Let the darkness be our blanket. Warm and happy whenever I can. It's no promise, but it's my blues plan. Tell me anything if you'd be so kind. Take me away from this restless mind. Lay you down upon this bed. Today has been a long and endless journey. If you think that it's alright, we could dream right through this night. Let the darkness be our blanket.
You heard it, didn't you? Cha-ching! And that right there in the middle of the first verse. Well, that was no mistake. That's set up that way. They come in randomly, stories to my phone. That's right. And so I'm trying to find out what it was and match it up with the current time, 7:45 a.m. Absolutely. I'm not really singing it. No. Something here, Big Brother on TV. I don't know.
You are so composed, you know how to live. True to yourself and always ready to forgive. And to make it seem so easy, almost like it's fun. It must be peaceful when your day is done. The sun is setting once again. It won't be back for hours, so until then, lay you down upon this bed. I feel heavy and the night is taking over. There's no moon up in the sky. We can't sleep until it's light. Let the darkness be our blanket. Lay down.
And then the next morning you get up, you get out of bed, you drag a comb across your head, and that's how it works. Actually, back to the heartbeat of the Tri-County.
Your network remains committed to keeping you and your family safe.
All right, there's still a commercial break. I'll be right back with a, closing song before I go to my job.
563-14.
And here's a story out of the USA Today. Cheers star sentenced to 12 years in federal prison for sex crimes. Some guy by the name of Jerry Harris on Cheers. I don't remember this Jerry Harris. Oh, I'm sorry. It says the Netflix docu-series Cheer. Okay, that's my bad. So I should probably just do the Cheers theme song, from TV. The complete version is posted out there by Gary Portnoy, the guy that wrote the thing. Come on, guys, sing along.
Taking your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? All those nights when you've got no lights, the check is in the mail, and your little angel hung the cat up by its tail, and your third fiancé didn't show. Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see the troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. Roll out of bed, Mr. Coffee's dead. The morning's looking bright. And your shrink ran off to Europe and didn't even write. And your husband wants to be a girl. Be glad there's one place in the world where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name. Where everybody knows your name. Everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. Where everybody knows your name. Everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came.
Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that, Gary Portnoy. Now you know his name. And I'm going off now to a place where everybody knows my name at my job. It's like, oh, David. And they're glad that I came when I come, because then again, those echoes get done. Otherwise, they don't get done, folks, if I don't go to my job. I'll be back at lunch or after. Thank you for listening. My sweet Lord, George Harrison playing over the heartbeat of the Tri-County. Folks, don't forget the completely remastered George Harrison album, All Things Must Pass, prepared by George Harrison's son, Donnie, is now available. A lot of great CDs in there, and includes the party disc. What I usually do on that is I can roll off as something else. like another George Harrison hit like this one, which honors his bandmate John Lennon.
Shouting all about love. Well, they cheated you like a dog. And you were the one who had made it so clear all those years ago. Talking all about how to give. They don't act with much honesty. But you were the way to the truth when you said all you need is love. Living with good and bad, I always looked up to you. Now we're left cold inside by someone, the devil's best friend, someone who abandoned all. We're living in a bad dream. They've forgotten all about mankind. And you were the one they backed up to the wall all those years ago. You were the one who imagined it all those years ago. All those years ago. All those years ago. Deep in the darkest night, I send out a prayer to you. Now in the world of light, where the spirit realizes all else that we despise, they've forgotten all about God. It's the only reason we exist. Yet you were the one that they said was so weird all those years ago. You said it all from how many had ears all those years ago. You had control of our smiles and our tears all those years ago. All those years ago. All those years ago. All those years ago.
Many, many years back. You know, I think it's something like 41. I think the song came out the year I graduated high school, 1981. Again, I give a tip of the hat. John H. Glenn High School, class of 81, Elwood, New York. Go Glenn. I'll be right back in a moment. You're listening to The Morning Show.
Had control of our smiles and our tears all those years.
I'm Ed Donahue. Basketball star Brittany Griner made a plea in her drug trial in Russia. The AP Sagar Magani has the story.
Her representatives tell the AP Griner has pleaded guilty to drug possession, but that she had no intention of committing a crime. The two-time Olympic gold medalist has been held since February after cannabis oil was allegedly found in her bags at a Moscow airport. Her trial started last week, and inside court today, a U.S. diplomat says she delivered a letter to Griner from President Biden, who called Griner's wife yesterday to pledge all efforts toward freeing the WNBA star. Sagar Magani, Washington.
Robert Cremo Jr. says he was shocked to learn his son is the suspect in the deadly mass shooting at a 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois.
I love my son, but it's devastating to everyone involved.
Cremo was on ABC's Good Morning America. 7 people were killed in Illinois. Britain will soon have a new prime minister. Boris Johnson says he will resign. Scandals kept building up. People like Susan Palm in London are saying goodbye, Boris.
I'm a conservative, but Boris has to go. He's a disgrace. And I was listening to Radio 4 this morning, and if 5 ministers go in the space of an hour, I can't believe what he's doing, and it's very bad for the country.
Johnson will remain prime minister until a successor is chosen. The World Health Organization reports a 77% weekly increase in the number of lab-confirmed monkeypox cases to more than 6,000 worldwide, and 2 more deaths in part of Africa. Aides tell the AP Senate Democrats want to boost taxes on some high earners and use that money to extend the solvency of Medicare, the latest step in the party's election year attempt to craft a scaled-back version of the economic package that collapsed last year. This is AP News.
Now, in terms of this cannabis oil charge, again, it's a fake charge, it's a hoax. I think cannabis oil, I don't even think that gets you high. I think that's just CBD. I'm pretty sure, I don't know for sure, I've never tried it, but I think that cannabis oil is legal here in the state of New York, maybe in many other states in the United States. But this is all a mock drumhead trial led by the dictator Vladimir Putin. Again, I have no problems with the Russian people, but I do have a huge problem with the dictator Vladimir Putin and his merry band of oligarchs over there in Russia. This is Sir Elton John.
In your little corner of love, you can roll around the globe and never find a warmer soul to know. Oh, I saw you by the wall, 10 of the Argentine soldiers in their row, with eyes that looked like ice on fire, the human heart, the captive in the snow. Oh, Nikita, you never know anything about my home. I never know how good it feels to hold you. Nikita, I need you so. Oh, Nikita, it's the other side. I'll let it give a line in time. Captain Tension, soldiers in the road. Oh, no, Nikita, you'll never know. Dream of me. Do you ever see the letters that I write? When you look up through the wall, Nikita, do you count the stars at night? And if there comes a time, guns and gas no longer hold you in. And if you're free to make a choice, just look towards the west and find a friend. Oh, Nikita, you will never know anything about my home. I'll never know how good it feels to hold you. Oh, Nikita, I need you so. Nikita is the other side. I'll let it give a long time.
Sir Elton John with Nikita. So that makes a couple of Elton John songs today. The Tiny Dancer, then this one. That's fine. Sometimes it's, top heavy Elton John. Other times it could be Billy Joel. Other times it could be whatever. It could be, I don't know. It could be Led Zeppelin. It could be the Eagles. It could be anything.
Don't you know it's a pity the days can't be like the nights in the summer, in the city, in the summer, in the city. Cool town, even in the city, dressed so fine and looking so pretty. Cool cat looking for a kitty, gonna look in every corner of the city. Till I'm wheezing like a bus stop, running up the stairs, gonna meet you on the rooftop. But at night it's a different world. Go out and find a girl. Come on, and dance all night. Just like the heat, it'll be alright. And babe, don't you know it's a pity the days can't be like the nights in the summer, in the city, in the summer, in the city.
WCDO, Lunchtime with the Oldies.
Thank you. That's Craig Stevens with Lunchtime with the Oldies. Ringo Starr. Nowadays, in some states, you can get arrested for that. She's 16 and she's yours. She's yours. Now, Faye is not 60. I'm not going to tell you how old she is, but Faye is mine.
Every night she was right in my dreams since I met her from the start. I'm so proud I am the only one who is special in her heart. The girl is mine. The doggone girl is mine. I know she's mine. The doggone girl is mine.
No, she's mine, Michael. She's mine, or stay away from me.
I don't understand the way you think, saying that she's yours, not mine. Sending roses and your silly dreams, really just a waste of time, because she's mine. The doggone girl is mine. Don't waste your time, because the doggone girl is mine.
She's mine, Michael. She's mine, boss. Stay away.
I love you more than he. Take you anywhere, but I love you endlessly. Loving we will share, come and go. We'll be to one town, but we both gotta have a secret one or the other. And one day you'll discover that she's my girl forever. To be let down, 'cause I really feel it's time. You know she'd tell you I'm the one for her, 'cause she said I blew her mind. The girl is mine. The doggone girl is mine. Don't waste your time, because the doggone girl is mine. She's mine. She's mine. No, she's mine. The girl is mine. Girl is mine. The girl is mine. Girl is mine. Girl is mine. Mine. She's mine. Mine. The girl is mine. Mine. Yes, she's mine. Mine. Don't waste your time, because the doggone girl is mine.
Okay, put him up. We're going to fight, guys. Let's go.
Michael, we're not going to fight.
Yes, we are, boy.
Oh, I think I told you. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I've heard it all before, Michael. She told me that I'm her forever lover, you know, don't you remember?
That's what she told me.
Loving me, she said she couldn't love another.
Is that what she said?
She said, you keep dreaming. I don't believe it. The girl is mine. No, mine. You're mine. She's mine, 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 mine. The girl is mine. The girl is mine.
All right, the girl is mine routine. Always a thrill for me to do. From Michael Jackson's album Thriller, and first done here at apartmentkaraoke.com. It was the Halloween show. It was 2019. All right, this is hard to explain. The new Main Street Singers from the motion picture The Mighty Wind with the Good Book song. Folks, read your good book and do what it tells you to do.
Now God said to Noah, I don't want no sinning. I've been telling you this since in the beginning. You gotta round up your sons and all of their women. Because you're going on a big boat ride. Now gather all the animals by the pair. Build a big ship about 1 million square and put all the animals right in there and sail away on the tide. But what if Noah had just said no, sir? Well, we'd all have fins and scaly skins. We'd breathe through gills instead of nostrils, and we'd eat fish food instead of vitamin pills. tells. It's scary, but it's true. So do what the good book, do what the good book, do what the good book tells you to. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Now God said to David, do you hear that drumming? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You got a great big Philistine army coming. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You want to oil up your sling and really get it humming? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you got to take a big guy down. Well, David, he got a dose of rights, but he wanted to be king of the Israelites. So he put old Goliath right at his sights and he bounced one off of his crown. But what if David had whined and waved? We'd live like slaves to Philistine knaves. Our bosses would all be 30 feet tall. We'd wash their clothes with a fire hose and we'd sleep in the cracks between their toes.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
Well, that's not very nice. It's scary, but it's true. And if I were you, I'd do what the good book, do what the good book, do what the good book tells me to. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Do what the good book tells me to. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Do what the good book tells me to.
And I always do. Back to the heartbeat of Tri-County.
Listen good. New York, you know, has got a whole lot of soul. Good God. London town is too doggone cold. Yeah. Nassau's got sunshine, and this you all know. Yeah. But we've gone funky, and we got some soul too. All right. Funky Nassau, funky Nassau, funky Nassau, funky Nassau, funky Nassau, funky Nassau, funky Nassau. Listen, funky Nassau, funky Nassau,
Here's another blast from the past on Lunchtime with the Oldies, WCDO.
Oh, yeah, it's a great one, you know. The oldies but the goodies, that's right. Wake up, little Susie. I can't, unable. I got to get back to my job. I hope you'll continue to listen after work. We'll have a... Continuing the show now from the Two Heart Sunglasses Supermarket in town. Tonight I'll have a story about the heart. As I've already mentioned, I'm a cardiac sonographer. And I'll have a little bit of story about the heart. I sure will. The first man to receive a transplanted pig heart has unfortunately passed away, but not of rejection. Actually, of heart failure. I'll talk a little bit about heart failure on tonight's program. That's right. I might talk a little bit about systolic function, diastolic function. I might, because it comes up in the story, actually. Now, I have a story about the Beatles and the hell that John Lennon endured for this Beatles album. Which Beatles album was it? Teaser. I'm not going to say until I read the story. And obviously there'll be some cool, music in the background, like this great song by Kenny Loggins, Heart to Heart. And I was going to have a story, but I threw it out. It's a story. It's called paltering. Now, it's just a new word in my lexicon, my vocabulary, that I picked up from the BBC. It's the art of basically not telling the truth by telling the truth about something unrelated to what you were asked. Let's say, okay, for you kids out there, let's say your mom has asked you, have you done your homework? And then you said, well, I wrote a essay about Abraham Lincoln for my United States history class. And then she says, oh, that's great, But you didn't tell your mom that you wrote that essay 2 months ago and that your homework is still not done. That would be an example of paltering. But I'm not going to have that story. It's a thin story. What I mean by that is once you've said what it is, The story's out the door. There's nothing. It's not. There's not enough meat. There's not enough meat to the story, so I'm not going to do that one. Actually, in a way, I just have done that one. So I have those two stories. The guy that passed away that had the pig transplant, John Lennon, he says this album was hell for him to endure. And, oh, yes. No, that was yesterday. The inadvertent ubiquity of Peter Gabriel's song Salisbury Hill. That was a fun story yesterday. And, yes, it involved the singing of the song Salisbury Hill. Certainly did. Oh, what's this, a Newsbreak story? Oh, it's about Derek Chauvin. Now, he's the guy that was convicted of murder for killing George Floyd. Well, guess what? He gets an additional 21 years for violating Mr. Floyd's civil rights as well. That's a federal crime. I believe it has to do with hate crimes. And so he's guilty on the state charges, guilty on the federal now. The story in from the Associated Press. What happened to the music? I'll be back in a second with the story. I'm going to go John Lennon when I return in just a moment. You're listening to The Morning Show. In YouTube now, a comment to this song by Genesis. It says, put your headphones on, lay back, close your eyes, and this track will take you to a beautiful place. A wonderful track from their album We Can't Dance, and it's called Hold On My Heart, sung by Phil Collins. And I'm just going to read over, not to be confused with the song from his Tarzan soundtrack album. What is that one called? I'll Be In Your Heart, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, they say here that doctors were encouraged that the guy died of heart failure and not of rejection. Not to mean that they're cold-hearted or anything like that, but it's an important distinction to know that the man died of heart failure and not of rejection in terms of, the future and the applications of this type of transplantation. The first man to receive a transplanted pig heart died of heart failure due to several factors, not organ rejection, leading the doctors involved in the trial to call it a success. David Bennett, 57, received the genetically modified porcine heart on January the 7th after the Food and Drug Administration gave emergency authorization on New Year's Eve. Now, that porcine thing, of course, if it was a cow, it would be bovine. And I guess it's a Latin root, but that's always been like a joke in my field. If you're doing like a regular echocardiogram, a cardiac ultrasound, suppose someone has a aortic valve prosthesis, a porcine aortic valve. Oftentimes, we don't see the valve very well because of all the, non-tissue that are in the valve, the actual foreign object basically is what it is with, whatever plastics or whatever it is, struts. It creates a lot of ultrasound artifacts. So we would say the valve is porcine, poorly seen. Now, before the transplant, Mr. Bennett had been hospitalized for 6 weeks with a life-threatening arrhythmia and had been connected to a heart-lung bypass machine. He was in end-stage heart failure. He did not qualify for a traditional heart transplant. The doctors involved at the University of Maryland Medicine study, they published a paper last month that said a complex array of factors caused heart failure in the patient. When the heart was first transplanted, they said, we were incredibly encouraged by his progress. His heart was strong, almost too strong for his frail body, but he had a strong will to live, said the study co-leader, Dr. Bartley Griffith, a professor at the University of Maryland School of Medicine. Dr. Griffith said, our findings on autopsy did not show evidence of rejection. Instead, we saw a thickening and later stiffening of the heart muscle, leading to diastolic heart failure, which means the heart muscle was not able to relax and fill the heart with blood as it's supposed to. Excellent explanation there by the doctor in a nutshell as to what diastolic heart failure is. Oftentimes, for example, people with long-standing hypertension will develop diastolic heart failure because their left ventricle muscle has to thicken over time, and it causes it to not fill as well. Alternatively, people can have systolic heart failure where their heart muscle does not pump strongly, in systole, that part of the heart cycle where the heart is pumping. The heart may also have failed due to a drug that is supposed to prevent rejection and infection, but might have damaged the cardiac muscle, according to the school. The heart was also found to contain evidence of DNA from a latent pig virus called a porcine cytomegalovirus through highly sensitive testing that was first detected several weeks after the surgery. Now, whether the virus damaged the heart is still under investigation. Infection control measures were in place before the transplant, and the heart had been tested just before transplant. The infection, though, was confirmed during autopsy. In the background, of course, still Phil, but now, as I mentioned before, the song from the Disney soundtrack, You'll Be in My Heart. We consider this to be an important learning experience. Knowing what we know now, we will alter some of our practices and techniques in the future, the doctor said. Xenotransplants, the term used for transplants from a non-human species to a human, have been researched as the demand for organ replacement increases. According to the FDA, 10 patients die per day while awaiting a donated organ. Pig and cow tissues have been used successfully for valve replacements, as I mentioned, according to Harvard University Medical School. Those valves typically last about 15 years and don't require the use of anti-clotting drugs as opposed to a mechanical valve which can last the rest of a person's life. We have entered a new era in organ transplantation, said Bert W. O'Malley, the president and CEO of the University of Maryland Medical Center. Mr. O'Malley said, while we still have a road ahead before xenotransplantation becomes an everyday reality, this historic surgery brings a future many never thought possible or within our reach. All right, that story was from NBC News and written by Alicia Fieldstad. I thank her for that. I'll be right back with the second story in a moment. Yep, Let It Be. That's the answer. That's the album that, he just couldn't stand it, John Lennon. Or maybe it was the tune, Let It Be. Now, what I know about the song, I learned from Monsignor Jim Vaughn. It could have been from a couple of Beatles books that I have, but I actually learned it from Monsignor Jim Vaughn, where he explained, he got the story firsthand from Paul McCartney himself. Yeah, they met, and Paul McCartney explained it. He said he was sleeping, and he had a dream that his mom, whose name happened to be Mary, who had, she had passed some time back, but she came to Paul in a dream, and she basically said to Paul, just let it be, and then he woke up, he got out of bed, and he grabbed a pen and a piece of paper and started jotting down some lyrics, and the rest is rock and roll history. I love the Beatles. I love talking about Beatles stories, but now I got to explain something that I'd really rather not explain, just to be honest, just because it's a long thing. It gets in the way of telling the story. It absolutely does. Now, my landlord, he just passed in front of me, you understand, and he waved, because, I'm at the Two Heart Sunglasses supermarket, which is right down the street from my apartment. He doesn't know anything about this show at all, really. There's a few people that know. Some people that I work with know. My family knows, things like that. Faye knows, but he doesn't know anything about what the heck I'm doing here. Maybe he thinks I'm shopping, at the Two Heart Sunglasses supermarket. But right now, I'm trying to get into this thing. Oh, yeah, the whole thing about it has to do with the YouTube videos. Now, for the Beatles, 99% of the time, if you sing a Beatles song and you post it out there, well, it's going to get flagged and your video is going to be blocked. It's not like most of the other artists that I've featured, for example, today on the program, that I happen to know it's going to fly through. It's going to certainly recognize the song. It's just going to say, okay, fine, this can go through, but you can't monetize your video. Whereas with a Beatles song, it'll say you can't monetize your video and your video is blocked. So it's like a higher level. And so that's why I've been kind of shying away from doing Beatles tunes now. However, from Paul McCartney's solo career, some stuff that I've done, it has gone through. For example, the man recently turned 80. I honored him with one of the songs from his solo career. Likewise, Brian Wilson recently turned 80 within about a week of Paul McCartney. They're very close in age. And I sang a Beach Boys song, Don or Brian Wilson. I got that from Craig Stevens at Lunchtime with the Oldies, absolutely. And so sometimes I would do something like that. And those songs did not get blocked. And whatever they were, if it was God Only Knows by the Beach Boys, if it was Kokomo, and of course Paul McCartney, well, it was with a little luck. You know, from his album London Town, Paul McCartney and Wings, with a little luck. And then I think I also might have done Listen to What the Man Said, maybe Let Him In or something. But anyway, I'm trying to keep this one. And this is a little bit that I did on Sunday Sunrise. Okay, here's the situation. It was this past Sunday. I'm doing the Sunday show, the flagship show here at apartmentkaraoke.com. And it was WBAB. They played a song, Hungry Heart by the Boss, Bruce Springsteen. I sang it. And then their very next song, which they went right into, a great tune by the Eagles. Now, the Eagles, likewise, it's the same thing. You'll be told, again, your video's blocked and you can't monetize. So I've been steering away from some Eagles stuff, but doing some stuff from the solo careers of Timothy B. Schmidt, Joe Walsh every once in a while, absolutely. Glenn Fry, yes, absolutely. And Don Henley, but some of Don's stuff, no, it's true. The Monsignor, a few weeks back, he played a great tune from Don's solo career called Sunset Grill, I believe it was, and I sang it with Don Henley, and that was blocked down immediately. And I had to trim it out. That's what you do. You trim it out. Well, you don't do it. YouTube does it. You wait quite a long time for YouTube to do it, and then finally your video will be okay. It can now go out now that it's been trimmed. And so, anyway, I got to get onto this song. Oh, this is now Across the Universe, right? Yeah, this is great. Song Lead on it by John Lennon from the same album. You know, words are flowing out, endless rain into a paper cup, etc., etc. But again, this is going to be about the album Let It Be, which, again, this was on there, you know, that album. Yeah, I changed it back into Let It Be, absolutely. And now I have to kind of turn it down, so, you know, to kind of fool the ID content. Let's just assume I'm going to make a YouTube video out of it. Again, this is more of a internet-based radio show, and it's really more of like, you know, an audio thing, but sure, just for convenience. Some people might find it easier just to go there. But according to Joe Taysom, who writes for Far Out Magazine, I've had many of Joe's stories on the program. They're great stories. He says that the hell that John Lennon endured for this album. So I'm just going to get right to it. Being a band member means... well, it means signing up to a democratic oath, and things don't always follow each individual's creative vision. Compromising was a vital part of being one of the Beatles, and on one album, John Lennon found the procedure, quote, hell, end unquote. Sometimes Lennon had to bite his tongue to allow his bandmates to take the driving seat, which he found tortuous. Let It Be is a prime example of this. It was a song that arrived at Paul McCartney in a dream, and he was the only one who could do justice to the shot of imagination in his sleep. The experience of creating the song explained why Lennon felt claustrophobic in the Beatles and decided to spread his wings with the Plastic Ono Band. However, it was his duty as a member of the Fab Four to be silent and leave Paul to his own devices. Speaking about the song, Paul once explained, "One night during this tense time, I had a dream. I saw my mom, who had been dead 10 years or so. And it was so great to see her because that's a wonderful thing about dreams. You actually are reunited with that person for a second. There they are, and you appear to both be physically together again. It was so wonderful for me." And she was very reassuring in the dream. She said, "It'll be all right." He added, "I'm not sure if she used the words let it be, but that was the gist of her advice. It was, don't worry too much. It'll turn out okay." It was such a sweet dream. I woke up thinking, oh, it was really great to visit with her again. I felt very blessed to have that dream. So that got me writing the song, Let It Be. I literally started off Mother Mary, which was her name, when I find myself in times of trouble, which I certainly found myself in. The song was based on that dream. So accurate as told to the Monsignor. There were many Beatles songs that Lennon was hypercritical about, but Let It Be particularly riled him up, and he later distanced himself from the track. In an interview with the Village Voice journalist Howard Smith in 1969, John Lennon lamented the recording process of Let It Be and the album of the same name, which he likened to hell. His stance only strengthened as the years went on, and in a 1980 interview shortly before his death with David Sheff, John Lennon said, "That's Paul. What can you say? Nothing to do with the Beatles. It could have been Wings. I don't know what he's thinking when he writes Let It Be. I think it was inspired by Bridge Over Troubled Waters. That's my feeling, although I have nothing to go on. I know he wanted to write A Bridge Over Troubled Waters." Fantastic song, of course, written by Paul Simon for Simon and Garfunkel. Now, while speaking about the film surrounding the album, John was even more scathing. It was hell making the film Let It Be. Even the biggest Beatle fan couldn't have sat through those 6 weeks of misery. It was the most miserable session on earth, considering the Beatles' most recent release. Admittedly, Peter Jackson's documentary Get Back does suggest that John didn't go through hell at all during the making of Let It Be, and perhaps he just had an off day when he made the scathing remark back in 1969. Now, just a little disclaimer here about Peter Jackson's Get Back. I have never seen it. I've heard stories about it. I've read stories about it on here on this program. And Peter provided an uplifting, positive view of the Beatles, whereas a film, a documentary about the making of the album Let It Be, wasn't that optimistic. That had been done back in the day. I do, however, have the coffee book called Get Back that Faye bought for me last Christmas as a gift. And that's the end of that story. And again, there is no 3 because I've decided, as I mentioned before, I'm not going to do that paltering thing, that paltering story. That's, again, that's when you lie, but you really don't lie type of thing. And I'm not going to do any Beatles songs because, again, I don't have the time to be cutting out stuff, and it's a waste of my time. Anyway, this is Simon and Garfunkel, and a totally different song than that Bridge Over Troubled Waters. I can do that one too. Now, of course, this one from the great film The Graduate, starring Dustin Hoffman.
And here's to you. choose. Every way you look I can choose. Where have you gone, Georgia Maggio? One nation turns its lonely eyes to you. What's that you say, Mrs. Robinson? Georgia Joe has left and gone away. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey.
Great tune there by Simon and Garfunkel, Mrs. Robinson. I think the last time I did one of those, it was June the 3rd, more than a month ago. It was Dr. C's birthday, and the ladies that I work with, they were talking about bringing in cupcakes for Dr. C, and I thought I went along there because you heard it mentioned right there in the song. I'll be right back with one more number, and that'll do it for the day in just a moment. Okay, it's going to be Watching the Wheels by John Lennon in mobile mode heading back to my apartment. I'm looking at the YouTube video. It features a profile picture of the late, great John Lennon with facial hair. That's right, a beard. He's got like his hair drawn up into a ponytail. It says, "Give me some truth, John Lennon." He was always really good at that. So that's it. Cranking it up and driving home.
People say I'm crazy, doing what I'm doing. Well, they give me all kinds of warnings to save me from ruin. When I say that I'm okay, well, they look at me kind of strange. Surely you're not happy now, you no longer play the game. People say I'm lazy, dreaming my life away. Well, they give me all kinds of advice designed to enlighten me. When I tell them that I'm doing fine, watching shadows on the wall. Don't you miss the big time, boy, you're no longer on the ball. I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. I really love to watch them roll. No longer riding on the merry-go-round. I just have to let it go. People asking questions, lost in confusion. Well, I tell them there's no problem, only solutions. Well, they shake their heads and they look at me as if I've lost my mind. I tell them there's no hurry, I'm just sitting here doing time. I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. I really love to watch them roll. No longer riding on the merry-go-round. I just
by John Lennon. Now, again, if I told you I was back, then I would be lying. I'm not back yet. So that means something else.
Stuck inside these four walls, sent inside forever, never seeing no one nice again, like you, Mama, you.
Okay, I'm back now at my apartment, but what the heck? My landlord, he's not here, you know. He must be out, you know, driving around somewhere.
If I ever get out of here, thought of giving it all away to a registered charity. All I need is a pint today. If I ever get out of here, if we
posted out there by Paul McCartney in YouTube, and that's fantastic. And that'll do it for the show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll come back and join me tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's Friday. Again, a short work week because of the 4th of July. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great night.